Hello, everyone. Hello. It's December 11th, 2025. Um, I don't never practice what I'm gonna say, so I don't know where I'm gonna go to on this. But I do know I won't never forget this day. Um, on December 11th, 2005, at 5:04 p.m., my son James Philip Jones departed this world. All because of someone had the audacity to pull the trigger. And what even hurt even more, that at that hearing, the youngster going to say, "Oh, he wasn't supposed to be there." And the sad part is that he wasn't supposed to be there. It was that day, it was a Sunday. I was in church, but he was trying to get to Century 3 Mall to get his t-shirt and his free phone. But his sister and him turned the car around for good old cuz. Just want to run over north side and come right back and pay, to ride him over. Well, I often thought as afterwards, like when I rode down that highway, that parkway, I said, dang, man, James didn't know he wasn't coming back. We never know. It's like you could wake up in the morning, you don't know if you're going to see the end of the day. So, I remember that it was like a snowstorm on that December the 11th. I didn't even think my brother Don could make it down to that hospital, take me, but he did. He did. I know on that day I seen a transformation in my youngest son Don when they came and said that James had left this world too. And by the age of 13, he already left. He already lost, you know, um, two brothers, and I know that had to be extremely hard for him as he grew older. And as a mother, I know when I first got in therapy after this, I felt kind of guilty because I told my therapist, I said, you know what? There's a victim of violent crimes therapist. And I was like, why? I said, I feel like I'm cheating James because I don't feel the hard impact like I first had when Harry died. Harry got murdered. And somebody told me something that I never forget. Out of caring, they said, Miss Coward, you never even got the first one before you had to face the second one. True words. Because grief don't have to happen right then. It can happen afterwards. It can go back and forth because all we know it really happened. Because I know with Harry, I couldn't even cry. Everybody else was falling all over the ground crying and everything, but it's like my tears froze because I felt like I was in Twilight Zone. Disbelief and reality right in front of my face. And when I heard about Dawn, it was like I almost felt like I was walking in a Twilight Zone. As I was entering the hospital, I felt certain feelings that I almost knew what they was going to end up telling me. But I know as we were in a waiting room, family room waiting, I know my granddaughters and stuff was crying. Please let him make it. But God had put up on my heart. I mean, really, I knew. I started praying for my son James Philip Jones' soul. I grabbed my oldest daughter by the hand and went across the room, and I started praying for James' soul. God to have mercy upon his soul. So they didn't surprise me when they came back. I believe they knew that he was already gone, but they came to tell the family they was working and all that because they didn't know how the family was going to act. They try to smooth it down, but they pretty well knew it was at the end when they came telling us they doing all they could do. Well, a lot about James, I don't know if I got much time on this, but I just want to say, I know that next night, after James died, I went to lay in his bed. I was going to sleep in his bed. And I could feel the presence coming in my room, in that room, and right at the foot of the bed, like it was getting ready to lay down on the bed. And I was like, Jesus. And the feeling went away. Afterwards, I remember years later, I seen the movie Lovely Bones. I don't know if y'all ever checked that out. but it made a lot of sense to me. But I do know after that, James was on house arrest shortly before he got murdered, and I know he used to stand there and blink the lights all the time. I said, "Stop blinking the lights, James. You're gonna make my lights go out." Well, it wasn't even a week after he was buried. I'm at home, the lights start blinking, just like he always did. And I would tell my daughters and different things. I know one night they all, pretty much half of them, come over my house to stay because they really didn't believe this thing. Well, at that certain time of the night, it started. Blink, blink. And I know when it started blinking so regularly, I used to talk to the light. It's like, "James, is that you?" Blink, blink. Like the light was actually answering me. So this one night I went home. I was by myself. At the time I didn't have no vehicle. I got Charles Count to ride me home over there in Whitaker. And when I got there and I set down my clothes, because I went to my mother's house to wash, I set down my clothes and the lights started. I was like, oh my God, you know. And I walked up to the top of the stairs. I said, "James, is that you?" And he blinked. And then I said, "James," I said, "I love you." I said, "I know you want to come back, James." I said, "But you can't come back." I said, this is what I said. Sylvia Brown said, "Go to the light," you know. And I was saying, "James, I always love you. I won't let nobody forget you." Because James always liked to be noticed. If he get a new fitted or a shirt, he want to make sure everybody see it. You know, I said, "James, I know you want to come back, but you can't come back. You got to keep walking." I said, "Walk towards the light." And I know as I was just saying all this, and then I reached into the air and I hugged myself, and I felt like I was hugging him, you know. And then I kissed in the air, like giving him a kiss, you know. And I stood there, and as I started saying all that, tears was just running down my face, nonstop. And then I need to say that light never blinked again. No, so we don't never know. Everybody said, "Well, they can't hear you. This one can hear you." But I know what happened to me. And that light never blinked again. Ever. So, all I know that nobody can take another person's place once they're gone. And like I said, this is the 20th year, and I didn't know what I was going to say, but I said whatever I said. And once again, everything I talk on these media things is real talk. If I can't give you something real talk, what I know that's real, or what happened to me, or whatever, I ain't gonna give it to you. But God seen fit to open up this platform for me. I know we did the show for several years and the studio closed down, but God put on my heart, come on, still reach out. And I just want to say, no matter what we go through, God can bring us through. I know at the moment when you sitting on, mothers and fathers sitting on that front row seat, when your child is laying in front of you, whether it's your mother or father, whoever, your loved one, and they get ready to close that coffin, it's a lot of cries that go out, and you can't even believe you're there, but you're there. But I'm here to tell you today, you can survive. You can get through it. It ain't going to be easy, but God can take the sting out of the grief. And ain't no certain way to grieve. I tell you, as long as you ain't hurting yourself or planning on hurting somebody else, it's all good. You know, so all I can say is remember the good times, the bad times, the sad times, all the times. Cherish them of your loved one, especially your child. Because we thought they were going to bury us, but for myself and so many other parents, it didn't go that way. So that's how our life went. And I just want to say, at 5:04 today on December the 11th, if you're, free, think of James, because that's the moment that he left this world 20 years ago, and for me, it just as well been yesterday. It get fresh on the death day and the birthday, and I allowed it to get that way, and that's how God give me strength. I face it. Only way you can get through it is go through it. Only way you can get through it is to go through it. So y'all be blessed. And if you know somebody, call them if they lost somebody. You might call them right at the right time.